Hello everybody, this is Super Piano Maestro, and today's video is going to be showing you my Nintendo Game Boy collection. Let's take a look. Here it is in the box. Whoosh! Everything's out of the box now. Let's take a look. Let's start with the systems themselves. System number 1. The original Game Boy from 1989. It runs on 4 AA batteries, and the game goes in here. Power, screen, A and B buttons, directional pad, start, select, volume, headphone jack, contrast, and link cable port. Next, I have the Game Boy Pocket, which is significantly smaller and significantly thinner than the original Game Boy, as you can see. The screen is larger and of better quality too, and it has the same layout for the controls and also has contrast, which is important with a black and white screen. Here's the Game Boy Color, which is a bit thicker and heavier than the Game Boy Pocket. This Game Boy has a color screen instead of a black and white monochrome screen. And the layout is similar except for the addition of the infrared laser port with functionality with select games and the removal of the contrast. Then is the Game Boy Advance from 2001, which is in a different layout than these, which are upright, and this one's like this, and the cartridges are half the size. Here, let's take a look at a cartridge comparison. Here's an original Game Boy cartridge, and here's a Game Boy Advance cartridge, which is half the size. And this is the last Game Boy I have, the Game Boy Advance SP, with a backlit screen, although mine is broken, unfortunately. With 2 brightness settings, same games as Advance, and also compatible with games for those. They go in this slot here. It uses rechargeable batteries with a charger. That's it about this one. Over here I have a bunch of manuals for different Game Boy games. Those are not very interesting. Now let's get to the games themselves. Let's start with the original Game Boy games. I have Mickey Mouse Magic Wands, don't ask. Donkey Kong 1994, that's a good one. Paperboy, not the best game. Super Mario Land, that's a good one. Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins is even better. And Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 is also fine. Toy Story 2 and Bug's Life, those are cheapo games and they're not very good. And these are black because these are compatible with the Game Boy Color in color screen, and on these two for black and white. And these are compatible with all 3, but they're only in black and white. Down here, we have Dr. Mario. That's a fun game. We got this yellow cartridge of Donkey Kong Land, which is similar to Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. This is Tetris for Game Boy. An awesome game. This is the shiny cartridge of Pokemon Silver, which is a great game. and Pokemon Red in the red cartridge, which is also a good game. Here's another black cartridge for Game & Watch Gallery 3. And these three are not compatible with the black and white ones, only with the color one. So they have a larger range of colors for them, and they have transparent cartridges, unlike those. Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, Pooh and Tigger's Honey Safari, and Monsters, Inc. Now let's get to the Game Boy Advance games. Down here we have Pokemon Leaf Green version, Pokemon Emerald version, Pokemon Sapphire version, a Game Boy video cartridge which has 2 episodes of Pokemon TV show on it that you can watch on your Game Boy, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, which is a very good game, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team, Tom and Jerry Infernal Escape, Tetris Worlds. In this thing is Super Mario Advance 1, which is unfortunately stuck inside the box and I can't get it out. I also have Super Mario Advance 2, but it's in my DS right now. And now let's look at these 2 games. This is Pokemon Pinball for Game Boy Color. You might notice that the cartridge is a bit larger and thicker and a bit oddly shaped. That's because this game has a little battery in it which activates rumble, which is when you're playing the game, it vibrates when the ball gets hit by one of the bumpers, if you know pinball. And over here, this is the Game Boy camera, which is really awesome. You can take pictures with it, this tiny little digital camera, and save them and edit them in all sorts of unusual and fun games and applications, software, and you can also print it with the additional Game Boy printer, which I do not have. Now we'll play some of the games and turn on the systems to show you what they're like in functionality. Sorry about that, just had to fix the camera. Okay, let's play Tetris. I'm very good at this game, and this game is great. I recommend it if you have a Game Boy. It's one of the best games of all time. Okay, now let's move on to the next Game Boy. Okay, we have the Game Boy Pocket out now, and now we're going to play Super Mario Land 2. Which is a great game as well. This is the level with the balls and the pigs. Some of the balls are spiky, so you must avoid them. I died. Okay, so that's the Game Boy Pocket. Now let's go to the Game Boy Color. Okay, here we have the Game Boy Color out. I'll show you 2 games for the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Camera and Pokemon Silver. Now we have the Game Boy Camera in there. Let's take a look at the Game Boy Camera's functionalities and see a sample of photos taken with it. Okay, shoot, view, or play. In shoot, you can take pictures with various effects. You can see me over there behind the camera. And this is the view through the Game Boy camera. Let's go back. Let's go to play. Here you can play mini games. You could play the shooting game, the DJ game, the balls game. This is you can put your face onto the juggler in the balls game. It's very fun. That's currently my face on there. Just edited with various effects in the Game Boy Color Pocket cameras editing. Okay. Now let's go back and see the DJ game. Here you can sample, change noises and sound effects. Also, use a sampler machine, which is useful for composers of techno music. If you want to experiment with the Game Boy Color's techno music DJ camera's functionality. Now let's look at no, not balls. The mystery game. Mystery game is Run, 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 where you race two animals. I don't even remember how to play this. I am failing miserably. Okay, that's enough of this game. Now let's go to view and see some pictures that have been taken. Let's see a slideshow. No, let's watch a slideshow. Here's some samples of pictures taken with the Game Boy camera. Okay, now let's look at Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Silver's in. This game shows more color capabilities of the Game Boy Color. Let's continue. Faster. Yay. Okay, that has been Pokemon Silver. Now we're gonna go look at the functionalities of the Game Boy Advance. I'll show you some games there. Okay, we got the Game Boy Advance out. We'll be using this one for the sake of screen quality. First, I'm going to show you Yoshi's Universal Gravitation, known as Yoshi Topsy-Turvy in the United States of America. An innovative game which uses tilt technology, where you tilt your Game Boy to navigate Yoshi around the screen. Let's show a sample. See the cherries? I tilt my Game Boy, and the chairs tilt along with it. Oh, where's the start button? Do. Okay, let's play this level. I can't tilt it with this camera. This is horrible. Let's move on to the next cartridge. In the system right now is the Game Boy video cartridge where you can watch episodes of TV shows on it. This is not working. Let's try that again. On Game Boy video cartridge, you can watch TV shows, episodes, or movies on your Game Boy. Although the quality is very bad. Let's watch Last Choice Blowout. You can fast forward, change the brightness. Why can't I change the brightness? Change the brightness and make it darker or brighter. Fast forward, pause, exit, and to choose the other episode.
It's a hard workout with those two is the TV remote. I didn't know what seashells were, but I was finally talking. So I got myself a picture book and tried to figure out the alphabet. R is for rah-rah rocket. If that hadn't been the first word I understood. T is for prepare for trouble. And M is for meows.
The color quality on this system is very good, except it's kind of dark, so I recommend playing Game Boy Advance cartridges in the bottom of your DS Lite. Whoosh! The Game Boys and the games magically reappeared in the box. Everything's gone from the carpet. And the review is wrapping up. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's close the box. And put it away. Thank you for watching. This has been Super Piano Maestro, and that was my Game Boy collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. Bye.